Senator Ronaldson.
Thank you, Mr. Acting, Mr. Deputy President. I rise today to speak to the Export Finance and Insurance Corporation Amendment Finance Bill 2013. This is a bill which the Coalition does not oppose. As my colleague, Deputy Leader of the Opposition, Julie Bishop, said in her speech to the Federation Chamber and the other place last Wednesday, and I quote, according to its official website, EFIC provides finance and insurance solutions to help Australian exporters overcome the financial barriers they face when growing their business overseas. It is, in fact, the Australian Government's export credit agency and assists in export trade or overseas investments where the private market is unable to do so. End of quotes. Ms Bishop goes on, and I quote, "The bill will amend the financial arrangements of EFIC to provide for the payment of a special dividend of $200 million and any adjustment to EFIC's callable capital that may be necessary in the future." The Coalition does not oppose this bill. According to the Government, the bill follows recommendations and findings of the 2012 Productivity Commission inquiry report into EFIC's operations. The Productivity Commission found that where EFIC retains capital above its minimum requirements, the surplus capital has an opportunity cost that is borne by the taxpayer. The Commission recommended that legislation be amended to allow the Minister to direct EFIC to return surplus capital to the Government. End of quotes. However, as Ms Bishop also points out, and I quote, "This essentially has nothing to do with EFIC as such, but everything to do with $200 million that has been extracted from it." End of quotes. Indeed, very much so. And we've seen this incompetent Labor government running us into huge debt, promising a surplus and backflipping on that promise, raising the debt further and increasing the debt limit beyond what is acceptable. As my colleague, the Shadow Treasurer Joe Hockey said, and I quote, "The truth is that Labor does not know how to live within their means. They're like someone with a credit card who are out of control." End of quotes. And now we're in a situation where our gross debt is around $263 billion, $263,000 million. And as my colleague, Senator Barnaby Joyce has said, and I quote, $200 billion could buy you 380,000 homes. Or in other words, with this debt, the Government could have bought every home in Canberra twice. End of quotes. The interest we're paying on this debt is enormous. We've had so many promises, broken promises, and so much financial mismanagement under Labor. Just to mention four before I finish. Carbon tax promises. There will be no carbon tax under the government I lead. A mining tax that raises no revenue. Raids on inactive savings accounts. Raids on superannuation. And Labor's solution to the EU debt crisis? Well, they lectured the EU and said to take on more debt. We had 300 promises of a budget surplus, and we were told that come hell or high water, the failure was not an option. That is simply not true.